The first part is, number one, is to go to Zillow.com and create an account for Zillow, because some of these capabilities that I'm going to show you, they're only available if you actually have a Zillow account, like if you actually like sign in when you go to Zillow.com. So make sure you do that. It's totally free. So go ahead and do that. And then now I'm going to show you, this is go and complete module 2. That's your exercise. And then I'm going to show you some of the things that you're going to learn in module 2. And like I said, the focus is to choose a target area and to learn about what is going on in that target area. So for me, for this example, there is a, because I'm in Virginia and we have a ton of different areas that I could use. I'm going to use Manassas Park for this particular exercise. So you go to Zillow, you sign, I'm signed, oh wait, see, I need to sign in. Yeah, okay, sign in, okay. All right, so now, when I went here and I, for the search bar, I put in Manassas Park, Virginia, and here it showed me this, how the grid shows up, means that all of this area that's inside of those lines is Manassas, Virginia. Is Manassas Park, Virginia. So that's what you want to do. You want to pick an area wherever you are, and that's your target area, your neighborhood, or an area you're thinking that you want to learn about, or you think that investors may be active in that area. You want to pick that area, and then here at the top where it has listing type, the thing for Zillow is that when you go into Zillow and the houses come up, there are different numbers, not different numbers, different colors that show up. So like red means that it's for sale. Blue means that it's a potential listing, like it's foreclosed, it's pre-foreclosure, or somebody has just set a price for their house and they're saying, if you pay me this, I'll move. That's called make me move. Then you have purple, means that the house is for rent. And then yellow is that it's recently sold. So they actually closed, they went to settlement, and the sale has actually been complete. So it's very important that, and that's why I said you have to sign in, because otherwise some of this stuff doesn't show up, especially like the foreclosure stuff. Sometimes it doesn't show up unless you're actually signed in. Because in Zillow, I'll show you all when it's like foreclosed, it'll give you like the auction dates and things like that. But a lot of people don't know that because they don't actually sign in and get a Zillow account. And like I said, it's completely free. So I'm just showing you how to use Zillow to get started, since you don't have access to the multiple listing service. So like for me, I plugged in Manassas Park, Virginia. I have for sale check, potential listings check. I don't have for rent check because right now I'm not going to really look into for rent. And the other one is like recently sold. Okay, so that's that option. So now you'll see how, now I have like yellow, blue, and those. Then the next option up here is, because this is basically showing you like how to query and come up with a search. So I'm not going to really put a max of my area right now in price. The next one is like if you want to use the criteria for a particular amount of bedrooms. I'm not going to do that because, like I said, this exercise, I'm just trying to learn the area and what's going on in that area. Now here for home type though, I would say the default, all of these are going to be checked in Zillow, but I would just do houses, we'll take out apartments. For me, condos are popular in Virginia. So if you have condos and townhomes in your area like we do here, you can select them. But if you don't, then just, take all these out and only have houses selected. Because I know some areas, it's predominantly single family townhouses are not common. So select based on that area. But like I said, here where I am, we have houses, condos, and townhomes, very, very common. When you go under, the next one is more. What I want you to change here, we don't really need to change square feet, lot size, and those things. But here, days on or sold and last. What this is if you're looking for, a lot of times when we start, I'm going to tell you to focus on looking at sold listings, because sold is going to teach you what properties are selling for, and then you could go back and analyze and start to understand why certain properties close at different prices. Okay, so for here, initially I would say when you go in and you do this, you set up this search, you want to change this at first to 30 days because you want it to be as recent as possible. Now you can see when I changed mine to 30 days, this dropped it here over to the right. It says 47 results. So 47 results is good. But if you select this and you change this to 30 days and maybe, you get 10 or something like that, that's too small. So then I would tell you to go as far back as like 90 days. But ideally, you don't want to go past 90 days. And the reason you don't want to go past 90 days is because when you go past 90 days, the season that the house sold in changes. And the season that, whatever season that house sold in, it does impact the price. As you learn more about real estate, you'll learn that. Like for instance, in my area, I know that spring is number one. Houses sell the most in my area in the spring. The reason is because most people look for houses in the spring, so there's more competition. And two, most people list their houses in the spring. So we get our most inventory in the spring, but then the price gets escalated because there's more people competing to buy that property. So that's what I mean. When you, like right now, it's winter time. And so the reason why you don't want to go past 90 days is, for instance, a house is going to sell at a higher price most likely in spring than it's going to sell like if somebody puts that same house on the market in the winter time, because now less people are looking and that homeowner is not going to get as many offers. There are not going to be as many people competing to buy that one house. So that's why ideally I would recommend that you do not go past 90 days, because when you go past 90 days and you're comparing sales prices in the exact same neighborhood, it's not really going to be apples to apples anymore because the season has changed. Another thing, here, when I change this one to 90 days, now I have 222 results. So that's a little too much, because what we're going to do is really go through these. Your exercise is to go through these and compare them. So 222 results is way too much. So I'm going to go back for me and just change mine to 30 days. And like I said, that you can change this 1 day, 7 days, 14. But like I said, ideally the max I would say is 90. Some areas, it's just, if it's so slow that there's just not enough results, even at 90 days. You could do 6 months, but if you do 6 months and you still don't have a good amount of results, I would tell you to choose a different area, because that means that particular area is not active enough to be a really good investment area, because you need it, and you're looking for an area that is investors are actively in that market. And if you're already not even seeing that houses are closing, in a good amount, then choose a different area. So if you go back like 90 days and, there were like 5 results or something, like that's not enough. That's like, that area is just too slow, I would say, to be a really good area to target for investing. So, okay, I'm going to do 90 days here, apply. Okay, and then what you're going to do here, now it has those results, you're going to go here. Let me move this over so you guys can see, because I think some of it is blocked. You're going to go here and you're going to hit Save Search, okay? And you're going to hit that. I don't want this. It's asking me if I want mobile. So I'm going to hit Save Search. Okay, yeah, here it is. When you hit Save Search, it's going to ask you, what this is doing is going to save this search, and then it's going to alert you every time a house has sold in this particular, whatever criteria you just select for this query. So this one, you can either do instant emails or you could do daily email. So I usually pick daily email because instant email means as soon as that house sells, it's going to send you an email. So you may get, like I said, it should be a pretty busy area that you pick, but you don't want to get, I wouldn't recommend you get, an alert as soon as it sells, because that means, you could end up getting like 5, 6, 7 emails a day just telling you a house closed. And just give it a nickname. Just say, this is Manassas Park, 90 plus. Or I could put Manassas Park recent solds or something like that. And do update search. And so that's going to do, this is telling me if I want to get the mobile app. I have it on my phone, but I'm not going to get into that for this exercise. So you want to do that. And then what you're going to do from there, hold on, let me go back actually, because I needed to change mine back to 30 days because it's too many. Yeah, that's what I needed to do. Update the search again. So now you'll see I have 47 results. So now what your exercise is, you want to go through these 47 results and just analyze it. Like I said, the red buttons are the red, blue, and yellow buttons are gonna tell you what the differences are. And for this, for sale, actually I need to select these, because really what I would say for your first exercise, look at recently sold first. Like I said, so look at recently sold. So for mine, I have 32 results. That's a good amount to go through, right? Go through like your 32 results. Let me just click off of it. So like here, when you look here, this house sold for $222,500. And that's what I'm saying. In action, you go into the Quick Flip Ninja Module 2, there's going to be a PDF at the end. It's called like market analysis or something like that. Print that out, and that's going to have already set up for you to just fill in. It basically asks you like, the address, how much it's sold for, so that you can just write it down. And that, like I said, your exercises, you want to learn what is going on in the market. So like this house, it's sold, it's in Manassas Park, sold for $222,500. You can look at the pictures. The first thing that I could see was, this house was in immaculate condition. It looks, it looks great. Those of you that are not in such an expensive area, I know you're thinking, oh my God, this house was $222,000, $500. But here, yeah, we're close to DC. It's just insane. So this is like a really good, this is a really great condition house for here for $222,500 in Manassas Park. And so what you're looking for is to notice things like the size of the house. Like I said here, we do have townhouses. To notice, okay, this is how much a townhouse sells for in Manassas Park in good condition. You're looking for how many bedrooms. This house is 2 bedrooms, 3 baths. You're looking at things like that to learn what is going on. So that one sold for $222,000. But let's look here. This one, there's a house here that sold for $250K. Let's see. This is a townhouse as well, but as we can see, this one is 3 bedrooms. So this is a bigger house as well. Things like that. You can look and see, what was going on in the kitchen. So you're looking at, one of the top things to look for is condition. Because condition, like I said, impacts how much a house is going to sell for. So like the size of the house and things like that. Oops, wait, hold on. I clicked out too fast. So that was 250. And if you want to zoom in a little bit more, I hope you guys can see, you just hit this button here. And then you can zoom in some. Okay. And then, so that one was 250. So I want to find one that maybe sold, let's see. I was looking, okay, this one sold for 220. Let's see what that looks like. So this one sold for 220. It's 3 bedrooms. It's still, it's in Manassas Park. I have a feeling maybe, yeah, is this the front of the house? This is like weird. I think this is the back. I'm about to say, will be really bad for the front, but I think that for some reason that's the back of the house. Yeah, and this is the front. Okay. Okay, so this house is sold for less. It's not in as good condition as the other ones. As you can see, the kitchen is not as updated. The other ones, the kitchen was updated. And yeah, this house just isn't as nice. As you can see, the other one had, yeah, this house just isn't as nice at all. Because if I go back, I can show you all. The other house that I clicked on was this one for $250. Yeah, the pictures are not as good, but you could see like they had like, you know, the kitchen was more updated like here, and you can see that they have hardwood floors. So that's what you're looking to do, to learn your area and learn what's going on. So like I said here, for the yellow is telling you recently sold. But as an investor as well, even though you're also learning recently sold, since Zillow's giving you all this pre-foreclosure stuff, I always say to always look for that. When I click on that in my particular area in the last 30 days, nothing comes up. Let's see if I go back 90 days, if something comes up on another. Okay, so then the last night, okay, when I change it to 90 days, now I can see 14 pre-foreclosures, and there's actually one that actually did foreclose. So now pre-foreclosure, I just want to click on this so you guys can learn this. You click on pre-foreclosure. Hold on, let me deselect the other one so they don't show up. That way, everything that will show up will be in pre-foreclosure, okay? What I want to show you with pre-foreclosure is when you have an account with Zillow, you click on this house is in pre-foreclosure. Zillow tells you pre-foreclosure. That means that at least here in Virginia where I am, pre-foreclosure and this house, it says auction. So when you go into Zillow and it says that, what that means, if you slide down, it'll even tell you the owner of the house has been served a notice of sale. So this house is scheduled to be sold at the auction, okay? And when you go down here, if you're signed in, it tells you this. And here, foreclosure trustee or attorney, this is the bank. When the bank decides that you're going to foreclose on a home and it's going to go to auction, the bank hires an attorney that actually does the process, the foreclosure process. So Zillow is giving you that information. So this is the lawyer that's handling it. And so what you can do, if you're someone that wants to target pre-foreclosures in your area, Zillow is giving you the information right here that this house is in pre-foreclosure. You can send out letters to the homeowner. A lot of times, let me click on another one. It will tell you it will tell you the auction date. Let me find another one and see if it says. See, this one actually says, it says this property was scheduled to be sold at a foreclosure auction on October 25th, 2017 at 9 a.m. So this one, it actually gives you the date of the auction. So that's what I'm saying. If you just learn Zillow and learn what's going on, then you can learn what is going on, like what areas have more pre-foreclosures than others and things like that. Like for me here, originally I typed in Manassas Park. So this is Manassas Park. But for your area, you can try different, subdivisions, different cities that are near you, and see, which ones come up with more pre-foreclosures than others and things like that. It will help you to learn, that's why I tell people before you start marketing, learn your target area. Because if you're saying that you want to focus on pre-foreclosures, then go into Zillow and find out which cities and which areas near you have pre-foreclosures. Don't start just randomly mailing and then maybe that area doesn't even have, properties that are in pre-foreclosures. It's better to actually target them. So you can get that, like I said, and like I said, then you can hit, save search. So if you're looking for pre-foreclosures, you can come in here, create a query for Zillow to alert you as soon as something shows up in pre-foreclosure, as opposed to like this one was old because it was saying that the pre-foreclosure was for the auction date was October 25th. So you want to, find something that would be upcoming or something like that. Let's see. See, like this one here is saying this auction would be November 20th. So that's, like I said, just go through, just learn the area. And the other thing, these are pre-foreclosures. The other thing I wanted to mention to you all is that when you click here, you can click on foreclosed. Now, these are houses the bank has actually foreclosed. Now, when the bank forecloses, it means, for a period of time. Hold on, let me just click on this. I click foreclose. Hold on, I don't see it anymore. Maybe I'm too far zoned out. Oh, here it is. It's right here, 280. Okay, so this house was foreclosed. So the bank has already foreclosed or had their auction or whatever they did, it has already occurred. Now, I want to mention this because a lot of times as a real estate agent, people will contact me and say, oh, I found this house is foreclosed. Can you take me to see it? When the house is foreclosed, it's not in pre-foreclosure, but foreclosed, the bank now owns this house. But if we look through here on Zillow, this house, it doesn't say that it's for sale. So this house, the bank owns it now, but it's not for sale yet. So you can watch it and wait to see, put an alert on it, to keep watching for when the bank may put it on the market for sale. But right now, if somebody called me and said, oh, Neva, this house is foreclosed, can you take me to see it? I can't take you to see it because it's the bank foreclosed, but this house is just sitting there. The house is just closed up. It's not for sale. We can't get in. We can't look at it. The bank is going through their process to get this house, whatever they decide to do with it. Sometimes they'll put it on the market as an REO or something like that. They assign it to an REO agent. And depending on the lender, sometimes that's done quickly. Sometimes I've seen houses sit for over a year. It just, depends on what is going on with that particular house. So I just want to mention that foreclosed and pre-foreclosure are two different things. Pre-foreclosure, the owner is still in that house. And so you can target them for deals because they still can sell the house before it's actually auctioned. But after it's auctioned and the bank now owns it, it doesn't make sense to target them. All you really can do is wait until the bank puts it on the market at that point. Okay, so just wanted to mention that. So that's your assignment, is to go through, like I said, whatever your target area is, and really learn, and just even, like I said, just doing this quick exercise and just learning what is going on in that area. It will help you as we go to other modules where we're talking about marketing and things like that, and you can see what a good area is for you to target, because if nothing is going on in that area, don't waste money to market in that area. Because a lot of times people will say, oh, I sent out all these postcards and nothing happened. Sometimes, they just marketing to an area. There's nothing going on there. There's no pre-foreclosure. And, because like I said, there's not every city. Like, let me just pick another one, just random. Let's see, like Fairfax or something like that. It just depends on what's going on in that city. Like, I know, actually, let me not even do Fairfax. If I do, and I already know this for my particular area, if I was to come in here and put in Dumfries, Virginia, this particular area where I am, if I go back, this is 90 days. Okay, if you look here, and I do foreclose, and this is a pre-foreclosures. Like Dumfries is an area. Oh wait, I unselected it by accident. So Dumfries is an area it's not, one of my target areas. There's always a pre-foreclosure. Like, I know this. So that's what I mean. Like, you'll learn, like, there's always something going on. It's just an area that's been hit really bad. Prices has dropped. A lot of people are upside down. People just are walking away, or, they lose their jobs and they're like, the house, I'm upside down on the house anyway. So there's a lot of pre-foreclosures. But then there's other areas that I know, if I typed in like Gainesville, or even if I did like where I live, Bristol, Virginia, this is not like I tell people, I don't even market pre-foreclosures a lot in my area, because there's not a lot of them. Like, if I go here, see, there's only 8. That's what I'm saying. It's not really worth it for me to send out like, hundreds and hundreds of I buy pre-foreclosures in this particular area, because look, when I look, there's only 8, and I have it set to 90 days. So if I even did 30, there's none in the last 30 days. So it's just not, and like I said, when you first start out, you want to do 30 days and then you can go back. Because you got to think, if they came out in my particular area, if it's 90 days, then the auction date for these have most likely have already passed. Let's see, like this particular one, it doesn't even have the notice of sale anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In my area, these are too old. But like I said, if you, for instance, said that you're targeting pre-foreclosures, you need to find an area that has a lot, like a lot. Let me see. I think another area by me, I think Woodbridge has a lot of pre-foreclosures in my area. Let me just go through. See, now look. Now, see, this would be a good area to market pre-foreclosures that by me, Woodbridge, because now when I put in, I look for pre-foreclosures, there's 80. So that's what I'm saying. If you do the research first before you start spending the money to market, big difference. Because somebody that sends out marketing in Woodbridge is going to have more success than somebody that sends out marketing in Bristol, where I live, because 80 pre-foreclosures compared to 8, that's a big difference. So that's what I mean is, first task is to just really go in Zillow and learn what is out there so that you can pick a target market that fits what you're trying to do. If you're saying that you want to wholesale, then you need to find people that are in a distressed situation. They need to sell. People that are in pre-foreclosure, if they can't catch up and give the bank that money to catch up on the mortgage, they're going to lose that house. So they may be more willing to sell to you at a huge discount, so at least they walk away with something, as opposed to it goes to auction and they just get thrown out the house. They walk away with nothing. A lot of times in auctions, people even end up owing because the house auctions for less than they owe, and there's a deficiency, and the bank can go after them as well for that deficiency. So it's much better to sell up and even to the day before that auction, as opposed to letting your house go into foreclosure, because like I said, a lot of times it's going to sell for less than the person owes, and then they're also going to have a deficiency judgment against them for whatever difference. And what I mean by that is, if the house is mortgaged for $300,000, it goes to auction, it sells for $200,000. There's a difference there of $100,000, and the bank, even after they auction the house, the hell doesn't actually stop for the homeowner. The bank can then go after them for that deficiency judgment of $100,000. So sometimes people's house go into auction, and it may not happen immediately, but maybe 2 or 3 years later, the bank starts to come after them for that deficiency judgment. So you always want to, and we'll go into this further as in training, you can always tell people you always want to avoid your house going into auction, because sometimes people think if they just walk away, the problem will be over, but it's not, because if that house sells for less than they owe the bank, they can end up with a deficiency judgment against them. And then, it could be 5 years later. Sometimes the bank gets a garnishment against them and different things. So you don't want that. Or I wouldn't, that's what I tell people. I'm like, why would you want to be in that situation where you lose the house and they're garnishing your wages? So I just wanted to mention that. Let me open up if there's any questions, because I know I've gone through a lot. Any questions? Okay. All right. Okay. So just let me know if I'm going too fast. Or like I said, I'll send you the recording. You can go over this over and over. And like I said, give yourself a chance to learn Zillow. It's a great tool that is free and that it even has this information in it. So I would definitely use it if you don't have access to MLS. If you do have access to MLS, of course use it, because MLS just updates faster than Zillow. Like MLS, I think updates maybe every hour or something. And Zillow is pulling from the MLS, but Zillow updates like every 24 or 48 hours is what I find. Whereas if you have access to the multiple list service, it's updating like really quickly, probably, like I'm sure maybe 30 minutes or an hour or so, because I can see, some soon as something updates, I get my alert to MLS much quicker. So if you can get MLS, definitely do. But like I said, if not, don't let that hold you behind. Do what you can with Zillow, which is a free tool, and you can learn a lot about your market. So now that is, like I said, your first exercise is to go over module 2. You're going to see that print out at the bottom and like I said, I would pick at least go through 20, 30. The last class I had them do 50. But like I said, at a minimum, I think you need to do 20 or 30 just to start to realize, like, particular trends and things that are going on in your market. Like you could, really learn, like I said, are there a lot of pre foreclosures? Are there a lot of, houses that are in really, really good condition that sell, or the houses that are selling looking pretty, shabby? Do they need work? It just, like you need a good amount to look at before you can really say that something, is a trend. You can't look at 2 or 3 properties and then say, oh yeah, I know my market now. So that's what I mean when I say you have to do this over and over and really see what's going on. And like I said, if you even, this is something that you're building, right? Each month you're building and you're learning. And like I said, with the seasons, as you go on, you'll see that prices in your target area. Right now we're starting in the winter. You're going to see that prices in your target area are going to change when the season changes. So when spring comes, you're going to see a difference. When summer comes, you're going to see a difference. When fall comes, you're going to see a difference. So that's what I'm saying. It just takes time for you to get the data so that, because like even Zillow itself is an algorithm. It has to get the data before it can tell us that Zestimate that Zillow does. It needs the algorithm. It needs people to put their house on the market. And for it to see what the for sale is, it needs the house to actually close so that Zillow can then pull the price it actually sold for. So all that is the same thing. Zillow needs the data so that their algorithm will then, put the information in and then pop out a Zestimate. So it's the same thing that we need to do. For you to learn your target area, you have to go in there and you have to see what is the data, what is going on, how many houses are for sale this month. How many are in pre-foreclosure? How many have actually, that's the thing. Are banks foreclosing in your target area? Because some areas don't have a lot of pre-foreclosures because, maybe the bank isn't foreclosing on people that are behind. Maybe your area, people are actually getting successful at doing loan modification. It will help you to say, well, something's going on in my area because I don't even see a lot of pre-foreclosures in my area. And in another area, you can see, man, there's so many, like what's going on? You know what I mean? So that's your first assignment.